What do you think of this statement, though? Channing Crowder, Alejandro Solana, what do you think of this statement to start out today's Victory Monday show? Tua Tagovailoa is a better quarterback than Dan Marino.
See, you always go overboard.
Let me finish, though. You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
Is a statement that may be said one day.
Oh, no.
If he wins a Dolphins Super Bowl and puts up the numbers statistically that he's putting up, one day we will say Tua was a better Dolphins quarterback than Dan Marino.
You're talking about 2034?
Yeah.
Super Bowl under his belt?
2 Super Bowls.
It can happen. Yes, it can happen.
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a Dolphins quarterback since Dan Marino where that statement was even a possibility ever. And I believe it's a possibility with Tua.
No. And Dan doesn't have a Super Bowl, and Dan's a top 5 quarterback that ever touched a football field. That's why it's not a knock against Tua. That's why I kind of took time to pause. It's not a knock against Tua. It's the greatness of Dan Marino that I was pausing with. Dan could sling that thing.
But if Tua, I mean, you want to go over his stats over the last 5 games since he's been back, or even since he's been Dolphins quarterback? Solana, is there a chance that when you're hosting this show, it's you and Jimmy, and probably Jimmy's son is producing?
Jimmy got to start doing some sex.
Let me rephrase that as well. Jimmy's adoptive son is your producer.
Okay.
Now it's more plausible.
Mm-hmm.
No, honestly, do you think it's possible? How old are you, Solana? You're 30?
30.
Is it possible you're hosting this show, you're 50, and you say the greatest Dolphins quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa?
See, I hate how you set this up, because today should be a day to celebrate the Dolphins.
I'm celebrating Tua maybe being the greatest quarterback that we've ever seen.
Hawk, what are we doing? He hasn't won a playoff game, and the team is below 500, and they've beaten
Debbie Downer. Trust me, you're not hosting this show with that attitude 20 years from now.
You see, I mean, I didn't want to do that. I wasn't going to mention that, but to even put him, he's playing unbelievable. Best stretch of Tua's career. All those things can be true. To put him in the conversation with Dan Marino, I mean, how many drugs did you do for your birthday last night, Hawk? Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you. You guys didn't come to that conclusion? You guys didn't come to that conclusion?
No. I watched it, and it's funny, a conclusion that I've agreed upon. I've actually talked about you on other platforms when you said that it's not about McDaniel. This team is based around Tua's amazing accuracy and his arm if he's healthy. I agree with you on that. This is Tua's team. I'll actually go as far to say, who we talking about, Earl Morrall and Bob Greasy. Tua's probably the second best quarterback to ever take the field in Miami. I'll go that far, Hawk. But you always go too far.
I'm just saying one day. We're not close to that day. We're not close to that day. I'm just saying, could you envision one day Dolphins fans saying the best Dolphins quarterback in history is Tua Tagovailoa?
I can't see it right now. To Solana's point, no playoff wins. Okay, well, we're going in here. Let's go in. He's going to have to beat Josh Allen. He's going to have to beat Lamar Jackson, and he's going to have to beat Patrick Mahomes to get out of the AFC for the remainder of his career.
He looks better than all of them.
All of those guys are going to be in front of him. Even, I can't wait to the game tonight, Justin Herbert. Like, that's the one we're comparing him against. There is a gauntlet of great quarterbacks right now in the NFL. Young, great quarterbacks, Hawk. You know, Dan Marino is one of the best 5 people to ever grab a football from under center in the history of this game.
I'm only going by Solana's own parameters. You have to win when it counts. I mean, Solana's own parameters kind of negate Dan Marino's greatness. Can't win the big one.
So is Dan, Dan's not that good, Solana, because he's Charles Barkley. No Super Bowls.
No, but I think what Hoch's doing there is unfair. Does Dan Marino have a knock on him for not winning a Super Bowl? Absolutely. He'll never be considered the best quarterback of all time. He can't because he's never won the Super Bowl. But Dan Marino was a perennial playoff contender and got this team to a Super Bowl and consistently won playoff games while putting
Who was
up
a perennial playoff contender.
How many wins does he have?
No, you keep changing the goalposts.
I'm not, because Tua got to one playoff.
You said Dan Marino is a perennial playoff contender. Tua's gone 2 years in a row, and they're on the road to a third.
He went 1 year in a row. The season prior, the Dolphins squeaked into the playoffs because they played Joe Flacco in Miami, and
that was
put up
Tua's
6
season.
points.
Stop it. That was Tua's season.
He didn't play in the playoff game.
I know.
He was 0-1 in his playoff career. And I'll bite. Okay, down the line, because we're talking not now. We're talking down the line. 10 years from now, can Tua win a Super Bowl? I think so. I think he's talented enough with the right team around him to win the Super Bowl. But I can't get from where this team is now, again, below 500, and I hate doing this today because they deserve to be celebrated, below 500, a team we saw that can't still beat top teams. We'll see Thursday, another try to, they're going to win a Super Bowl at some point. Who's the general manager? Who are the pieces around Tua? This team's not close yet. They're just not.
Well, listen, listeners, I'm sorry, because I thought we were going to celebrate a really fun Victory Monday. It's a holiday week. I didn't realize that Solana and Crowder were just going to throw cold water over everything that transpired yesterday with the Dolphins. My apologies. I just should have read a Dolphins mailbag or something.
You put Tua on Detroit right now. They're winning. You put Tua on Philly. Looked good last night. That damn Saquon Barkley is a special player. Goodness gracious. You put Tua, Tua has the piece around him. Tua is talented, by far talented enough to win a Super Bowl. I said it. I'm going to keep saying it. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league right now when he's healthy. And that's what everybody wants to put that little clause in when you talk about Tua. But he has to go out there and do it, have the team around him, and show out. Yesterday was a Hall of Fame performance. 317, 4 touchdowns, no intercept. Yesterday was a Hall of Fame performance. Now, and I hate getting on Solana's side because it's bit me in the past because he's ridiculous. If he can go 308, 317, 4 touchdowns against the Bills, 317, 4 touchdowns against the Ravens, 317, 4 touchdowns, against the Chargers, something like then it'd be like, okay. It was the Raiders and it was the Patriots, and they're both terrible teams. Drake May won me some money because he did his thing too, but the Patriots are not a good football team.
Well, I will tell you, Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald, he tweeted out, Tua is 130 for 170 with 11 touchdowns and only 1 pick and a 116.2 passer rating in his first 5 games back. So that includes Buffalo. That includes Arizona. They had a couple losses. They could easily, in my opinion, be 5-0 since he's back, but he had good games. Adam Beasley, Pro Football Network, he posted after the game yesterday, the Dolphins are better than every team left on their schedule. That would include, ostensibly, the Packers on Thursday.
Niners? And the Niners, right? I know the Niners got whooped, but Brandon Allen was the quarterback.
Yeah. And
they're banged up, though. They're banged up.
Just for, Purdy wasn't playing. Just for edification, Lambeau Field forecast for Dolphins Packers this Thursday, 22-degree wind chill, 13 degrees, 22 degrees, wind chill 13 degrees, slight chance of snow. Tua told you after the game yesterday he's ready to kill that narrative.
Curtains. Texans, Niners. Jets twice, Browns. I'm with it, but Texans and Niners. Barry Jackson.
Packers.
Packers can play too. Jordan
Beasley
Love over
that said
Tua?
that.
I wouldn't
Beasley said that they're better
Oh.
than everyone on their schedule.
Okay, yeah, Beasley. I don't yeah. Texans, they're getting healthier. Niners can play if Brock Purdy's back and they have all their pieces. But Jordan Love or Tua, I think Tua's better. I'm not even being a homer. I think Tua's a better quarterback than Jordan Love.
Thursday night's going to be epic. Yeah, I hope. I hope it's epic for the right reasons. We know what happens in prime time.
We played in the cold, we were nothing.
I know. But that was before I dubbed Tua the best quarterback to ever play for the Miami Dolphins. And I know a little premature, just a little premature. But we will get there. Let's do headlines. We have a
10 in
loaded potato today on this Victory Monday. A loaded potato. Let's do headlines with Solana, brought to you by Doral Hyundai. At Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai models in inventory, like the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai.
I'm getting torched on the text line, and it's so unfair. I mean, Hoch set me up here to a better than Dan Marino.
I did for radio what Tua did yesterday on the football field. I mean, that was brilliant. And I give you permission to use it Thursday on Game Day Uncensored.
Oh, I'll swing my argument around. I happen, because me and Tobin, last hour of the show, I played the Ben Volin clip. All of a sudden, I'm arguing with Tobin like if I'm Ben Volin, saying that this Drake May is going to torch us for 500 yards today. I got off the air. I said, what am I doing?
You know what Drake May did do? Rush for over 25.5 and threw for over 219. Bingo!
Yeah, I think he threw for 220, right? Didn't he go over by like a half? I had a parlay. What did I parlay? I parlayed Jonnu Smith, 5 receptions. He had 30. Drake May, over 219.5 yards passing. Ended up with, I think, 220, something like that. But he went over.
Right.
And the third leg of that parlay was Tua, over 2.5 yards rushing. That guy, he's a bum. He's less mobile than Marino.
Took away breaking that pocket.
Holy mackerel. 2.5 yards. I mean, what are we doing here, Tua?
But he hit him for 317.
He looked unbelievable. He looked unbelievable.
Yes.
All right, so where do you guys want to start? Because Tua, fantastic game yesterday, MVP performance. He's 7-0 against the New England Patriots. He dominates Boston, dominates them.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
He got a good window though.
He did catch a good window. Mac Jones, Drake May. Who's the head coach?
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo. Yeah, this is.
Yeah. He ain't going up against Brady and Belichick.
I'm telling you, brother. And that was a personal to my heart answer what I just gave. He caught a good window.
The Miami Hurricanes beat the Demon Deacons 42-14. This game, at halftime, it was like, okay, this is interesting. But then third quarter, snooze fest. Fourth quarter, Canes blowout Wake Forest 22-0. They end up winning by destruction. And you said it. They're a win away. On the road, tough win, but a win away from getting to the ACC championship game.
Yeah, it's funny. Crowder was at the game because he was there for Cracked, the restaurant he has at Section 202.
Hey, 203, right there in front of 203.
And I had texted him back, Hurricanes have been exposed the last 2 weeks because they had lost to Georgia Tech. And that first half, it was like, oh, they've been exposed. And then all of a sudden, they just put their foot on the pedal, and you went, oh yeah, I remember.
Are we talking? Is DBJ or Don Baylor, anybody coming on? This Shannon Dawson, I don't know if you get mad at him for not figuring it out early. Because think about the Cal game, the VTech game, the Wake Forest game. They at one point they just figure it out and score 30 points in a row, but it takes some time to lead up to it. Are they ill-prepared and figure it out halftime? But watching that game, I was at the game. It was the first half and the second half looked like two D1 schools, and then it looked like a D1 and a D3 school. It's wild. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if it's a praise to Dawson or a knock to Dawson.
Is that a great thing
that
that he's able to identify it and turn it around, or is it a bad thing that he doesn't have that at the beginning?
And what he does, I don't even know. Watching the game, because the game was close, and now in the fourth quarter, nobody's buying chicken sandwiches, so I can sit down and watch it. At some point, they just say, Cam Ward, get in shotgun and go eat them up. Like, they don't, like, it's not the run the ball, play action. It's just, Cam, go BB everybody up. And I don't know if you should start that in the first half or it's established to run or whatever's going to go on. But once Cam just starts throwing that biscuit, it looks different.
The Giants are probably going to draft that guy, by the way. I mean, they cut
They
Daniel
better.
Jones. Tommy Cutlets didn't exactly come in with any enthusiasm behind him, and they're probably going to end up drafting him or Shador. It's going to be one of those two guys.
They need to do something. It's one of the worst football teams in the history of the NFL, and they chose Daniel Jones over Saquon.
Shador's going before Cam.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Saquon Barkley's really good. There were some crazy games in the NFL yesterday. Obviously, we don't have time to get to all of them, but the final 3 minutes and 33 seconds of Washington and Dallas was without a doubt the craziest football game I have ever watched. Ever. Titans beat the Texans.
Wild.
By the way,
Titans
wild. Beat the Texans. And again, thrilled the Dolphins won. Hope they can win on Thursday night, and they'd be 6-6. It would be unbelievable, setting themselves up for one of the greatest turnarounds in Dolphins history. With that being said, this Gardner Minshew is ass, and the Broncos beat the Raiders. The Broncos need to lose games. They do. Here's their schedule. They host the Browns. They host the Colts. They're at the Chargers. At the Bengals. Host the Chiefs. Chiefs, final week of the season, could be resting players. Bengals might be out of it by then as well, mathematically. So no use in playing Joe Burrow and risking him getting hurt for next season. Like, the Dolphins might have to win out, or at the very least go, 6-1 down the rest of their games, or 5-1, whatever it is.
It's going to be dicey because the Broncos, it's not a mirage, by the way. Now, they have a tough schedule, maybe. Like you said, it depends what goes on at the end of the season, but they're very good. So it's not a mirage. Mm-hmm. It's not like this team that's in the hunt or has the last spot and it's by smoke and mirrors. They are picking up steam. I was reading an article today. Bo Nix is picking up steam to beat Jaden Daniels for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Like, that's how good he looks.
Bo Nix can play. We said it this summer. I remember us all talking about it. The Dolphins needed to go 5-1, 5-2, something like that. They had to get something early going, and there were the Broncos. There were some other teams that got that early push, and when Tua went down, to Hawk's point, Tua is the most important piece of our football life down here. When he went down, that put a big damper in our chances of making the playoffs.
You mentioned the Panthers kind of letting us down this weekend. They've lost 3 straight. Lost to the Avalanche 7-4. They lost to the Blackhawks on Thursday. They obviously lost to Winnipeg to start that road trip. They're back at home tonight. They play the Washington Capitals, 7 p.m. at Amerant Bank Arena. No Ovechkin, Crowder's favorite player in the NHL because of how big his thighs are, interestingly enough.
Love him.
He's out because he suffered a pretty bad injury like a week ago. But they're going to play the Caps, the Leafs, and over the next 2 days, today and then Wednesday, Caps and Leafs here at Amerant Bank Arena. And the Miami Heat did win yesterday. That was a effing awesome victory last night.
I didn't see one second of it.
Well,
it's all highlight.
Turn on FanDuel Sports Network Sun and rewatch the entire game from start to finish.
Right now, they replay it right now.
No, I don't know.
On
go ahead and figure it out. FanDuel.
FanDuel?
I didn't say FanDuel.
FanDuel or FanDuel? What day? What?
I'm going to pretend you said FanDuel. Oh, it's on at 3. Is it the Mavericks?
I saw.
Yep.
It's on at 3.
I saw Kyle Okposo.
Oh,
that last weekend. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Was he a good waiter?
That's the whole story. I just saw him. I saw him when I was Wednesday when I missed Whiskey Stars and Cigars. When I was at that little conference,
Yeah.
he was there. Like as he was transitioning. He might do the media, so he wanted to come to some media stuff. And yeah, he like came up to me, was like, "Crowder, what's up?" I was like, "Hey."
He was on the
Big
banquet
homie,
staff
what's
there at the
going on?
hotel.
He wasn't on no damn banquet staff. He's my
Guy
friend.
literally, he helped the Panthers win a Stanley Cup, and Hawks is trashing him right now. Come on, that's Oposo, man.
I swear to God, I thought you were. I was thinking of KZ Akpala. I swear to God.
No,
Because I was just going to
Okposo.
jump on you for saying that he was on the Panthers. I'm like, well, who are you talking about?
No,
Maybe I
Kyle
am drunk
Okposo.
today. Maybe I am.
You had you a good old
Came
Sunday
out of the
night.
box with this ridiculous Tua take, and now I'm making fun of Kyle Okposo. That's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's uncharacteristic. Well, I
Yeah.
apologize
I
to
saw him in New
Nova if
York.
I mispronounced his name and everybody else.
I'll tell
I
Kyle.
was thinking,
he
where
tried
is
to listen.
KZ Akpala? I have no idea.
He was in Sacramento on their G League affiliate. I don't
All
know.
right, so
where
he might
is.
actually be working the banquet staff at the hotel he was at.
I don't think he's on the
I
team
was
this year,
thinking of.
man.
That's funny. I feel terrible.
It's like, damn, Hawk wouldn't trash a Panthers player like that. What's going
Yeah.
on here? I mean, and you double down on it too.
I'm guessing no time in history have KZ Akpala and Kyle Okposo ever been confused for one another.
We're making history.
Who are you more petrified heard this first segment, Hawk? Dan Marino or Kyle Okposo?
Len.
You know what? I think Kyle might care. Dan just start cussing and say how dumb we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
What?
if Dan was listening, he's texting Nat more. He's like, you gotta turn on this dip bleep on 550. Bo Camper's on his phone going, what on earth is going on?
Call me back. I'm on the 10th. Call me back.
Well, if you missed it, you can hear it Thursday starting at 4 on Game Day Uncensored with Solana and Brendan Tobin.